With competition in India's premium electric scooter segment intensifying, Ather Energy has finally rolled out an upgrade for its 450 electric scooter. You see, Ather is calling this the Gen 3. But is it really that big a step up? To find out, we're here on a blustery day in Bengaluru. Welcome to News 9 Live's first ride impressions of the Ather 450X Gen 3. In the 4 years it has been around for, Ather's 450 has established itself as the default choice for anyone looking for a premium electric scooter. Just as it was beginning to scale up operations across the country, Ather rolled out the more capable 450X at the start of 2020, and its success laid the groundwork for the Hero MotoCorp-backed outfit's ambitious expansion drive. Today, with heftier government subsidies on offer, the focus in the electric two-wheeler segment has shifted towards models with larger batteries. And so, 2 years on, we've received what Ather calls the 450X Gen 3, which packs a notably larger battery and promises a triple-digit range, something the 450 series sorely missed in the face of renewed competition. I first happened to see the new 450X when we arrived at the venue for the media ride, and my first reaction was, that can't be the new one, surely? If you have the same reaction when you lay your eyes on the Gen 3, I would fully understand why. You see, the 450 is now a familiar sight for those clued into electric scooters, having gone on sale in its original form in 2018, with the base design and stance tracing their origins all the way back to the S340 concept showcased a full 6 years ago. To Ather's credit, the 450 is still a great looking scooter with its design barely showing any age at this point. It's sharp, smartly styled, and will still draw attention. But Ather has almost entirely refrained from making any notable styling changes, as it doesn't believe in making tweaks that are not absolutely needed. While you could appreciate Ather's honesty in steering clear of making routine facelift changes, what's disappointing is the company hasn't even refreshed the color palette for the 450 series. The 3 colors that have been on offer since 2020 are the only options even on the Gen 3. And while it appears to be a decision taken to avoid production complexities in the middle of manufacturing ramp-up, it also feels like a missed opportunity. There was a chance to freshen things up a bit, and for a model build the Gen 3, it's a chance that has gone begging. When you get to grips with the 2023 Ather 450X, the first thing you'll notice is just how well put together it feels. The quality of paintwork, switchgear, and other materials is noteworthy, especially when you remember Ather is a startup that has been in the business for just 4 years. The new scooter is slightly longer than the older one, as it now accommodates a larger 3.7 kWh lithium-ion battery pack. That may not seem like a huge increase over the outgoing 450X's 2.9 kWh battery, but it's the largest battery Ather can fit on the 450 platform. The Gen 3, says Ather, will also bring 25% longer battery life over the older 450X. The main upside with the bigger battery is a rise in true range, which is now as high as 105 kilometers, 20 kilometers higher than before. The larger battery also spells an increase in the 0 to 80% slow charging time, which now takes 4 hours and 30 minutes, nearly an hour longer than the outgoing scooter. Weight too rises by roughly 4 kilos, and peak power output is a shade higher than before. Changes to the overall spec of the scooter are limited, and most will be hard-pressed to find them. But we've put the numbers of the upgraded 450 against those of the older 450, so you know what exactly sets them apart on paper. Also on Ather's agenda were the 450X's tires and mirrors. The Gen 3 wears a new set of Zapper N tires co-developed by Ather and MRF for the 450X that are said to have a larger contact patch and better water dispersion abilities thanks to a different tread pattern. To enhance grip levels, Ather has also equipped the Gen 3 with a wider 100-section rear tire. In terms of bettering rear visibility, Ather has introduced fully redesigned mirrors, which are claimed to cut a notable amount of weight from the handlebar while improving visibility. When it comes to infotainment hardware, the 7-inch screen remains unchanged, as does the Android OS it runs, but it now gets twice the amount of RAM and storage to unlock future feature rollouts and smoother functionality. The 450X Gen 3 is a great example of why you should never let a spec sheet color your view of a vehicle. There will be some who may feel a little underwhelmed thumbing through the 450 brochure, and to them, I must say the ride puts into perspective everything the 450X wants to be. As before, there's an air of ease to using the scooter, and within minutes you forget all about it being electric, so seamless is the whole experience. The 450X gathers respectable speed even in the least potent eco mode, and there's a distinct and important improvement in performance in ride mode. On our ride up to Nandi Hills and back, I found myself in sport mode, and the Gen 3 was happy to hold on to speeds that suited the stretch best. Warp mode unlocks full performance, and it's in this mode where the 450X can get up to silly speeds really quickly. 0 to 40 kilometers an hour is a blur, and you'll get to the scooter's top speed in no time at all. It's in the corners where you'll be able to feel the difference the new tires make to the 450X's handling. With a wider rear tire, the upgraded 450X holds on to the tarmac with a newfound confidence that's almost never exhibited by a scooter, and I say that in the best way possible. You'll find yourself taking corners at speeds you previously only did on a motorcycle, and the fact that you can't feel any of the added weight just makes the 450X an even more fun scooter than before. Even the ride quality has improved, with the 450X feeling more pliant over the rough stuff, even if sharper road imperfections still tend to jolt the handlebar. The infotainment screen remains easy and relatively smooth to use, comfortably registering inputs even when you have gloves on. That said, I did not notice any major usability enhancements, and the UI could get smoother still. With only a few hours of riding, there was no way to fully drain the battery and verify the true range, but my Space Grey 450X told me it still had well over 50 kilometers of range to offer after I rode it for over 50 kilometers in different modes. To put it simply, the Gen 3 is the best Ather we've seen yet. The realization of everything the startup has wanted to stand for right from the beginning. With this, Ather finally has a scooter with a range of more than 100 kilometers that also offers improved levels of quality and functionality paired with consistent performance. Up until a year ago, you either bought a budget electric scooter or you bought an Ather. But we're halfway through 2022, and Ather can no longer be viewed as the only real option in the premium segment. If you always wanted an Ather but were put off by its low range, you now have an option in the form of the Gen 3, because the Gen 3's biggest calling card is its increased range thanks to the bigger battery. If you've appreciated what Ather has done with its first product, you will be very happy with what the Gen 3 has to offer, because it takes everything that the startup has done so far and takes things up a notch. That said, there is now increased competition in this segment. You've got TVS with the iQube, and the iQube with its updated larger battery is also offering 100 kilometers of real-world range in S variant, and in the ST variant you get a much larger battery of 5.1 kilowatt-hour battery for a range of 145 kilometers. That's the real-world range, not the ARAI range. The Gen 3 is certainly the best 450X made till date. But is it the best electric scooter that you can buy in the premium segment in India right now? I guess we'll have to try the other scooters out before we can deliver a verdict. That said, the 450X Gen 3 is definitely worth your attention.